Hey YouTube, and welcome to this episode of the Gunman. So this video here is part 1 on this 1959 Plymouth Fury that we're going to be giving a full respray. There's a few minor repairs on it, but it's mainly just a tidy up. You can see the old paint there, it's a bit faded down, and yeah, probably a little bit beyond a cut and polish. You might be able to bring it up a little bit, but there's chips and scratches and a few minor dents all over the entire thing. So the owner came in and said he really wanted just a budget respray. He said anything you can do to keep the price down. He actually originally wanted to get rid of the baby blue roof and just paint that in the cream of the rest of the car, and I said, man, don't do it. It looks so cool with the different color on the roof, you know. I said, I'll just do it for an extra $50. I really don't even care. But I'm sure there's lots of people watching saying, why didn't you paint it red with the cream or white roof? Because it's basically the same car in the movie Christine. Now, this is a 59, however, Christine in the movie was a 58. So, yeah, there was a couple of minor differences, just a couple of cosmetic differences, like a couple of trims or something like that, but it's basically the same car. And that's actually the reason the owner bought this car, because it is, yeah, it's basically Christine. For those who have got no idea what I was just talking about, Christine is a cult classic movie based on a book by Stephen King. It was released in 1983, and it's basically, yeah, one of these cars, a Plymouth Fury, that was haunted and it'd kill people. But I really do highly recommend checking it out. It's been a really long time since I've seen it. I think I saw it when I was like 10 or 12 years old. I'll have to go and see if I can find that movie Christine again though. Anyway, continuing on with the job, most of the prep work I actually didn't do. You may have noticed that there's another guy walking around the workshop, and his name's Rick, and we got him in just to help out because we were quite busy at this point in time. So he did all the prep work on it, and me and my business partner got it in the booth, gave it the mask up, and I decided to prime it all up with the doors swinging, so I was actually able to, in the one booth cycle, paint the insides of the door jambs at the same time as priming the body. And then I ended up, this all happened before lunchtime, so I then went out, had lunch break, and came back after lunch and threw another bit of plastic over the car and ended up actually painting the roof on it. So yeah, it's definitely good time management. As it turned out, like, I did end up having to flow coat that roof. There was a few bits that, yeah, I did know they were there. I was kind of being a bit cheeky by not fixing them. The prep work wasn't 100%, but I just thought, you know what, I'll see if I could fill it up with a bit of primer and then maybe a bit of the 2K color. And I just wasn't quite happy with it, so just gave it a quick sand down on later on in the week and gave it a bit of a flow coat. So it ended up with 2 coats of HS Clear over the top of the blue. So the end result was actually something better than it would have been anyway, because we're using Nason 2K on this car for the color. And look, it's a cheap paint, I'm not gonna lie. It's not something that I would do on a $10,000, $15,000 respray. But when you got customers coming in telling you that they want the absolute cheapest job, and that's the only thing that matters to them, then you're forced to use the cheapest paint. It's as simple as that. Yeah, if you want to pay a bit more money, then I'll use a better paint. And that's what I say to customers. They say, oh, what kind of paint do you use? And I say, mate, I'll use whatever you want, as long as you're willing to pay for it. You know, I don't really make markup on paint and materials. I might make a couple of bucks on it here and there, but I make my money on doing the work. If someone comes in and says, I want my car resprayed in Glazerite, I've got no problems with that at all. You're just going to be paying for it. It's as simple as that. But yeah, this job here was only like $4,000 for a in and out respray. It's pretty cheap, and the bonnet was actually in quite bad nick. What happened with the bonnet was silly owner decided that he'd leave it half open. You know how when you got your bonnet, it'll latch half up, and he just thought, oh, I've only just got to go just around the corner. It's not even that far. He knew that it was up, and then, yep, of course, it blew open on him when he was driving down the road. So the bonnet was throwaway. It was beyond repair, and the hinges are actually, yeah, totaled as well. I didn't include much video footage of that because it simply wasn't even part of the job to fit his bonnet. He, yeah, towards the end of the job, he's like, oh, you're gonna fit the bonnet. It's just, yeah, one of those annoying customers that, you know, you make a deal with at the start and then completely changes his mind and expects more done. Yeah, we never agreed to painting the inside of those door jambs at the start, and then at the end of the job he goes, oh, you could have just painted the inside of your boot lid. And we're like, man, you could have just slung us an extra $300, you know. It's as simple as that. People don't work for free, you know. But yeah, that's one of those things that now I've left the business, I'm actually kind of not missing those kind of customers. I personally prefer being an employee. I believe you've got more freedom anyway, rather than stuck in business agreements, leases. You've got probably a lot more responsibility as a owner of a business. I personally don't know if I ever will go back to owning my own business again, and if I do, it'll just be sort of DIY hobbyist type thing. Just do it as fun, like not as your primary income. I guess at this point in my life, I was at the point where I was really going head down ass up and saving prior to starting this business. You know, I was going, my savings were going up by $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a week, and then to starting this business for easily the first 4 months, you know, I didn't make anything. It was just breaking even. Towards the end, we started doing okay, and I was, you know, able to start saving a bit of money. All in all, I'm glad I did it. The main reason I actually did do it, like the decider, was this YouTube channel, and I knew I'd be able to make some cool videos, and those videos are up forever. Basically, I never would have got the opportunity to make some of the really cool videos that I did make in the year that I was here. And yeah, those videos are there forever. People will be able to enjoy them forever. I'll be able to look back on them. My children, maybe one day, if I ever do have them, will be able to look at these videos and say, wow, that's what it was like back in the year 2015 when you were spray painting cars. That's how they used to do it. So yeah, I'm documenting my career, and but yeah, it definitely was a lot of fun. More good times than bad, cranking the tunes and getting that pre-workout powder into me and seeing as much work as I could do in one day. Getting this SGK just firing on all cylinders. I tell you what, that's one of my favorite things about that year. Finding the SGK, and it is one hell of a gun. It's also known as the FLG5, but I'm sure all of my followers already know that because I'm always going on about this gun. And it is just one brilliant piece of work made in Brazil. 1.4mm fluid tip on it is what I've got now. They do have a 1.8mm option as well. I've heard it's quite good for primer. Yet to use it for primer though myself. I challenge anyone to find a gun that sprays better than this and is as good a quality for under $200. If you do know of one, let me know. Shoot it down in the comment section below, and I'll go out of my way to buy one and review it. And yeah, I'd like to share it with everyone else. If there is another gun on the market that is as good as the DeVilbiss SGK or FLG5, be sure to let me know. That way I can let everybody else know. Even if I've got to spend a couple of bucks to get it, again, you know, I can make a video on it. That will be up on YouTube forever. I don't mind buying a few guns to improve my YouTube channel, just like I did this one. But you know, I've already sold this gun. Why is that? Because I'm the gunman. I can't just use one gun in every single video. I need to evolve and show you guys the best guns in the market. I do try to keep it simple when painting and when teaching people how to paint as well. Like, some people just way overthink a spray gun and how it atomizes and this, and it's just like, man, mix your paint up, put it in the gun and go for it. If it doesn't spray well, you know, we'll either adjust your settings, adjust your paint thicknesses or distances, how you're applying it. Yeah, there's obviously going to be a scientific reason why your gun's not spraying. Either that or it's just a crap gun. I've only really came across one gun that I would say is absolute garbage, and that was the Star New Century S4000. The fan on that thing was so small that I had to hold it back like nearly a foot from the panel. So in doing that, you've got so much overspray, and it's not that I couldn't get a decent finish with it. I could, but I just ended up going through twice the amount as what I would do with a half decent gun like this. You know, I spent $150 on that Star New Century gun. This gun here cost me $200. It was actually $180 at the time. Yeah, they have gone up since, I've noticed, since me making so many good reviews on it. Everyone wanted to go and buy them. They went and put the price up through Jefferson's, I think it was, on eBay Australia. It may have nothing to do with my reviews, but I wouldn't be surprised I'm popular enough for to be able to influence things like that. But yeah, look, that looked fine straight after this. But then what ended up happening is the next day I put the car out in the sun, and because I just put a little bit too much fluid on that roof, it ended up dulling right back. So I thought, you know what, paint the rest of the car. And then we came back to that roof, gave it a flow coat, job done, and it looks smick. So that's off the gun there. It didn't even get polished. There was 2 or 3 bits that we did end up polishing in the body of the car, just up the front on these guards there. But yeah, I'll be including all the paintwork on the rest of the car in the next couple of videos. The second video on this is going to be some time-lapse madness in the second video, and that's going to be mainly a mask and paint. Me and my business partner Dan actually ended up painting this car at the same time. It was just one of those afternoons and I couldn't be stuffed getting around a massive boat of a car like this by myself, so I said, man, let's bring an extra airline in there and paint it together. So it's going to be part 2, and the third video will be finishing it off with a first person view look at the third coat of 2K color. So being that we use the Nason 2K color, it's a little bit thinner than some of the topper quality 2K colors. We just thought we'd put an extra coat on there. We had the paint there, so we may as well do it. But this is the car as it left our workshop. To be honest, I was actually glad to see it gone, because it's one hell of a big car, and driving that thing around, it really, in a small workshop like ours, it really does take up a lot of room. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Be sure to check out my website, thegunman.net.au. Now you've seen this video, get out there and paint some shit. Thanks for watching, and this has been another Gunman production. Goodbye.